I'm Wesley Skillman, graphic ID G00147766. This is the ET450 Capstone video. I've designed a circuit that is supposed to go into an automobile to lower the windows in a car if the interior temperature becomes too high. Ran into a couple of problems, so I wasn't able to fully implement my circuit. One of my problems was my thermistor, which is not exactly the one that I plan to use, but it is one that is affordable. The one that I originally planned to use is about $35 per unit. I destroyed two of these in the making of this circuit for testing, so I had to go with a cheaper version. Otherwise, half the circuit is working because I have simulated the proper resistance that I would get for the thermistor for the low value. Now I'm going to walk through the circuit, all of the pieces, and how they work together. To start with, I've modified a battery charger to supply a constant 12 volts, which actually came out to 13 volts, and changed some of how I'd have to wire the rest of my circuit because it's one more than I expected. In a production model, I would put in a voltage regulator to ensure that only 12 volts got through. Also, I have a step-down voltage converter that goes from the 13 volts to 5.5 volts to supply my resistors for the comparator. I have a high temperature setting and a low temperature set point that are supposed to trigger the windows down and windows up. So when high is reached, windows come down for 1 second. When the low point is reached, the windows go back up for 2 seconds. The thermistor would normally plug into the center op amp where the signal from the thermistor is used to run through the 12 volt supply to output a voltage. That voltage is then compared to the two reference voltages, one from high, one from low. When the high is tripped, when the high side is tripped, it then trips this part of the circuit, rolling the windows down for 1 second. And then after the car's vented heat, the windows are lowered for 2 seconds after the low trip point is set and the other side of the circuit fires. In my case, I've had a couple of issues, one with the thermistor that I've already spoken about. The other one that I have noted, and the one that keeps the board from working right now, if you'll notice, I can get a 1 second interval. When I press the board, I have an open in my breadboard. That detail is also covered in the final report. But otherwise, the circuit works with the exception of the thermistor and the open on the breadboard.